welcome back everyone to another playthrough of Diablo 3. Now, you might notice I'm at the title screen, and that has a good reason. Well, it's not a good reason, but I have a reason for it at least. I just recorded a decent chunk of gameplay, not that bad though, about an hour, and I lost all the audio on it. So what I'm going to do is, at least for that first half hour, I'm going to kind of just re-record myself over it. Podcast style. So, hello everyone. But, yeah. So, in terms of what I talked about, other than just the usual gameplay bullshit, the main stuff I brought up, beginning of the episode, the reason why I was at the title screen, was because, I'm at a little bit of a different point in the game, a little further ahead, not much, nothing significant. In the cathedral now, towards the bottom, close to the boss. And the reason I did that is because I'm running out of time, because Blizzard decided that they were going to cut Season 7 short to make way for Season 8, which is going to start right leading up to BlizzCon. And with BlizzCon, since today is October 13th, today they put out the schedule, or it could have been yesterday, but I found out about it today. They put out the schedule for BlizzCon. And seeing as it's the 20th anniversary of Diablo, there's a ton of stuff planned. I lied. There's actually only a single event on the schedule really directly relating to Diablo 3, or Diablo in general even. It's just the Diablo 20th anniversary event, whatever that entails. Some take it as a good sign, though, and I think it has some credence, because what Blizzard tends to do is, leading into a big announcement, what they'll actually do is they'll block out all references to the event from the schedule and instead just keep some spots open. So whether or not those spots are actually available in the schedule, I don't know. The schedule did look pretty packed out from the quick look I took at it. But the main thing is there's hope that we'll at least get something a little more significant than just Season 8 in a small patch. I'm personally hoping for some announcement for Diablo 4, but people are realistically, or pessimistically even, expecting just an expansion. And I think Diablo 3 kind of is okay where it stands. I don't think there's much more you could really expand on with it. I'm at the point of the game where you finally, at least at the beginning at least, right here, get a assistant. You get the warrior, who is actually a crusader. Not crusader. Silly me. Templar. So, that's a thing. Typically, with my main character, in my main playthrough, since I played Wizard, Warlock, whatever it's called, Mage, I used the Templar quite a bit. Just I thought he was more useful, because my play style was pretty much ranged attacks, and the Templar was a good complement to that. In this case, not so much. Once I find the Enchantress, the companion mage, I'll switch to her, just so it complements the playstyle a little more. I'll see, though, too. But other than that basically covers the main talking points I had, so now it's going to be about another 20 minutes of bullshit from me. So yeah, Diablo 3, BlizzCon, a lot of stuff going on. I'm actually kind of pissed that they cut Season 7 short, because the one time I actually seriously want to do a seasonal character, and I don't even have a chance to fully develop it. I don't know how much longer the season's going to last, whether or not Season 8's going to start right when BlizzCon happens, whether or not it's going to be a couple weeks before. I got no idea. They haven't put any announcements out yet. Anything like that, I'll probably relay through to you guys, because it's going to completely affect how my playthrough is going to go down. Let's see, I think I'm getting the schedule up now, finding it on Blizzard's website. Let's take a look. That's not the schedule. So they do have some more stuff. They have a 20th anniversary panel, some dev talks. Other than that, though, not that much. Everyone wants Diablo 1 or Diablo 2 HD, and I don't know. HD remakes are something I've never really been much of a fan of. just because of the fact that I think they're, to a degree, a bit of a lazy cash out by developers. They use it as a way to just kind of keep like fans satisfied while putting off a more substantial product. I feel like they should instead just focus on new things, not just remaking old stuff. Let's see if I could find that schedule. Oh, here we go. So, in terms of Diablo stuff, I got the schedule up now. The opening ceremony, which follows some World of Warcraft tournament events. Opening ceremonies for an hour. Then it's, in terms of game-wise, they have it all pretty clearly laid out. There's only one Diablo thing on the entire schedule, which is the Diablo 20th anniversary. There's a reason why people say that Blizzard has just completely forgotten about Diablo, and that has a lot to do with it. It certainly doesn't help when they seem to ignore it. The schedule is pretty packed, too. The only time that there is much availability is on the panel stage after the Diablo 20th anniversary event, which, according to the schedule, is only 45 minutes and is followed by 2.5 hours of contests. Whether or not that's going to change, who knows, but I don't know. That's just that's Friday. Okay. Going into Saturday, there is 2 more Diablo events before the closing ceremony. Art and design and Q&A. So, and then there's some more. Man, this schedule is packed. I don't see how they're actually going to be able to fit much more into it, which is a bit of a problem. Anyway, though, I'm not going to give up hope, just because of the fact that now that I'm really so much back into Diablo now, I want to hope that there's something new going to come out. I want to hope that Blizzard's not going to just ignore us like that. 20th anniversary, it'd be nice if we got a new game, but I wouldn't say I'm disappointed if they're not going to do anything, though. But other than that, in terms of Blizzard, they've announced some other stuff, too. I know that with other games. I know there's it's supposed to be a new expansion coming out, too, for Hearthstone. Hearthstone is something I was playing for a while back. I sort of fell out of interest with it, though. Something I could definitely get back into, though. I grew up playing, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And other... Well, that was really the only trading card game I ever really played. But growing up playing that and having a pretty kick-ass deck, at least I like to think that I did, having a trading card game be a pretty good part of my childhood, too. When I wasn't busy playing video games, I was playing trading card games. So, I was a real winner when I was younger. But yeah. So, Hearthstone expansion, that should be fun. I'll take a look at it. I bought the last expansion they put out. I forget what it was called. The Party at Karazhan. I know that it's all based off of like World of Warcraft lore, and having never really played World of Warcraft, I pretty much legitimately have no clue about 99% of it. But it's a thing, right? Hearthstone, it is fun. It's a very deep game. I like it. People are pretty happy with the balancing update they put out not that long ago. Other than that, though, in terms of events in the gaming world, that's probably the biggest story right now. It's Blizzard stuff. That's what happens. Blizzard comes out from their cave once a year. BlizzCon. And for once, I'm actually really looking forward to it, other than, World of Warcraft. Either last year or 2 years ago was Overwatch, and I still don't have Overwatch. The comparisons to Team Fortress 2, even though I know it's not super accurate, that it's kind of its own game. Well, not kind of. It is its own game. It's still different, but the fact that people have compared to it to Team Fortress 2 makes me a little nervous, because I tried Team Fortress 2, and I did not enjoy it at all. It doesn't help that I'm actually terrible at first-person shooters. Really bad, at least for anything competitive. Battlefield, stuff like that, I like. Call of Duty is okay. But competitive shooters, I'm just not good at. Even games I actually really like Rocket League, I play a ton of. But even that, I'm like just above where the average rank. The average rank in competitive Diablo, like the median, where everyone is I think Challenger 2, and I'm Challenger 3, which isn't really that great. I'm like the 47th percentile or something like that. So I'm better than 53% of Rocket League players, which is something. But being worse than about the same isn't exactly comforting. Though I feel like they changed the whole way that the ranking system works. So the way it used to work was that it was you had unranked, then you had bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum. I think this was almost a year ago now, and I was silver, and everyone made fun of the bronze division because it was bronze, and that's where all the unexperienced players were. But then slowly over time, people started to insult the silver players more. I was one of them, and I didn't like that. And it's carried its way into the newer lexicon, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, where people in Challenger now, which Challenger, the higher up you go, you're better than more people than you're worse than. You know, you're better than more than half of the people that play Rocket League at that point. And they still like to say that people constantly whiffing and stuff like that, which just isn't true, I feel like, to a degree. But that's the way it goes, I guess. That's the way people like to talk about Rocket League. The amount of time I've put into it, I've put about 70 hours into Rocket League, I think, and not that much has come from it. I mean, I would say I'm definitely better than most of my friends, but that's not saying much, because none of them really play it that much. No sense in being better at something than everyone you know if no one does it, because of course you're going to be better. You know, you can be better at throwing marbles off of cliffs. It doesn't make throwing marbles off a cliff remotely useful. That's a terrible example. That was just the first thing that popped into the top of my head. Now, going back to playthrough, you could see me making my way through the dungeon, getting some new skills. I don't know why there's... I feel like 4 levels is more than what most dungeons have for some reason. I think most usually have 3 and then you get to the lair. I don't know if I don't even remember. I've played through this game, half a dozen times completely. And I still can't remember half the stuff for some reason. Fighting through mobs and stuff like that, but for whatever reason, I just can't remember it being more than 3 levels. This one has a 4th, though, because this game just really wants me to not make any progress before the season ends, I guess. In terms of, what will happen, if the season does end and I'm nowhere near completing anything, odds are I'll just abandon the character. We'll switch back to my main for a bit, my main character. Maybe get some items with it, something like that. And then probably wait till Season 8 comes out, or I might just switch games. Maybe I'll start playing Rocket League. That'd give me an excuse to practice some more, play some more if I'm going to be embarrassed in front of everyone. You guys get to hear me rage a bit. Diablo doesn't make me rage. Rocket League, though, makes me rage. You can only blame yourself with Diablo, but it is so easy to blame other people. And that's what makes it so rage-inducing, Rocket League. You could just throw other people under the bus. Oh, of course, it wasn't me that missed that goal. It was my opponent that knocked me away. Or my teammate. Everyone loves to do that, just blame their teammates for everything. It's fun. What's especially annoying is that the lower levels, though, people are so much quicker to do it. And people like to say that I suck. Even though they don't realize that right now I finally just started playing 3v3 in Rocket League. For a while, I only played 1v1s. I still prefer 1v1s just because you only have yourself to rely on in that case. It's your own skill against another person's skill. 3v3 is I am in Prospect 3, I think, now, because I ranked down. Because I had some crappy teams. See, I'm doing it already. I'm blaming the team. But you get the idea, though, that it's just different, because people will tell me I suck in Prospect 3, and they don't know that I am literally an entire tier higher than them in a different branch of the game. I don't know whether that's universal or not for most people. I'm going to assume that it's not. Just because if everyone was 3 ranks higher when they played by themselves, then you would assume that skill would translate over into team play. Because the biggest issues I see with team play in Rocket League is how people don't know how to play with one another. They don't realize that if the goalie comes out and makes a play, that someone else should go back into goal, and it shouldn't just be all 3 people on offense. That's the one thing that drives me up the wall. When if I'm in net and I go out to make a play, someone should be cycling back into net. And usually I'll wait till I think someone's cycling back. It's the cycle. It's called that for a reason, because that's how you do it. You cycle through. And more often than not, the only time we'll lose is when my teammates don't realize they have to do that. So instead, I wind up just sitting in the net, waiting for them to cycle back, which never happens. Then I'll get a decent shot off, and they'll deflect it, which is always fun. Like I said, really blaming my teammates here. But that's just the easy thing to do. It's never my fault. It's never my fault that I'm losing. But yeah. The only example I could think of was that where it legitimately was my fault was there was an overtime game, and someone took a shot towards the net, and I thought that I could hit it tight against the wall on the left side of the goal and clear it out. But I kind of miscalculated a bit, and instead of hitting it against the wall, I hit it square into the goal. And it was intentional. It didn't look like I was trying to stop. I just did it. Although my teammates for that were actually good sports. They understood that it was an actual accident, that I just messed up. Can't always be that lucky when it comes to teammates, Finally moving along, getting some more skills here. Equipping some new stuff, changing some stuff around. If I remember correctly, we're actually getting close to the boss now. That's where this video ends, basically right after I beat the boss. It's too bad I lost the audio on this, because I felt like I did a decent job for once with the playthrough. I actually had some stuff to say for once, which was nice. But yeah. My nose is running. I apologize if I'm sniffling into the microphone too much. I don't know why my nose started running. I don't have allergies. I don't have a cold. My nose just decided that now would be a good time to make it harder for me to breathe. Ugh. Okay. What else to talk about? This is hard. Like, the Game Grumps have it easy. They're 2 people that can riff off one another. That's what I need. Maybe I should have my roommates play with me sometime. Record their audio too. That'd be interesting. Maybe I should do that. Roommate play. It doesn't have a good ring to it. I'll think of something. Something that's half decent for a name. What else to talk about, though, in the world of gaming? Oh, PlayStation VR came out today. Which is the thing. I had it pre-ordered, but then I actually wound up getting the HTC Vive instead. Just because I thought it being on PC would give me a little bit of a better selection in terms of games. And so far, I guess it's kind of mixed. PlayStation VR definitely has a couple of good-looking games, like Riggs, which is from the same studio that made, I think it was Killzone for the Vita. I want to say Gorilla Cambridge, I think. One of the Gorilla Game studios, though, for Sony, they made a game called Riggs. It's kind of like Titanfall soccer ball, basketball sports. It's a shooter that you fight in robots, and it's like a sport. It's actually built to be an esport from the ground up, which is pretty cool, I'd say. The there's not that many games that are built from the beginning to be an esport. Like League, that probably wasn't the original intention. Or Dota. Dota just straight up started as a mod. Of what? I don't remember. Or was it StarCraft? I don't remember. One of them. Maybe it was StarCraft. I don't remember. But the Rigs is one of the few games that it's straight up. You start, it's competitive. It's intended to be. It's like a sport that doesn't exist. You can see at this point in the game, in Diablo, I go to switch my skills and realize that I can't because I waited until after you entered the boss room to change my skills, which you can't do that. One thing that's nice about when you're playing in a party is that it'll actually give you a warning when you're entering that room, so you have a chance to change your skills, and I wish that they would just add that in here, but for some reason, whatever reason that may be, they didn't. And crossing those stairs, positioning myself for some reason, and the wait. Leoric took me so long to kill for no reason. I don't even know why. It just took me forever. I felt like I was doing no damage, but at the same time, I wasn't really taking damage. He was hitting me, and I don't think I ever even got below 50%. Just because they were reflecting a lot of it back or healing quick enough that did make a difference. He is the Skeleton King. The hammers were pretty useful to keep, though, because that was good for taking out his waves of minions that he likes to send out. Because God forbid the man fight his own battles, right? Some more hammers. Hammer, 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 hammer. Other than that, though, he's pretty simple. I mean, he's the first real boss. Yeah, it makes sense to expect him to be pretty easy to beat. If he was hard, I really would have been disappointed in myself, I guess. But yeah, that's the gist of this game. Really, you can only blame yourself half the time for stuff. That's what's nice about it. That's, once again, same reason why going back to Rocket League. That's the one reason why I play solo so much, because you can only rely on your own ability. You can't have anyone else screw it up for you or help you. When you lose, it's your fault. Sometimes you gotta know where to put the blame. That's a part of life. Not to get too deep on you guys. That's all part of life, though. Knowing when to take blame for things. This took a deep turn for no reason. I don't know why. I think it's mostly just the fact that I have no idea what to say. It's my first time doing something like this, just recording myself talking for about a half hour without any major talking points. I had some talking points on a sheet of paper, but it was mostly just stuff that I thought was kind of funny. I had some conversations with my roommate. I'd write stuff down if I thought it was funny. Like wiping standing versus sitting. One thing I think is interesting is how people that when they wipe standing or sitting, they automatically assume that that's how everyone else does it, and that anyone else who does it differently is weird. I think that most people, it's something like 60% to 40%. I think most people wipe sitting down. But, like I said, it's obnoxious for people, it seems like, to think that that anyone else would do it differently. Which is interesting when you think about it. Personally, I do it standing up, which is especially obnoxious due to the fact that I'm super tall, 6'4". So anytime I go to use the bathroom in the dorm, I have to like crouched down because I don't want to be staring at people over the top of the door, which is really awkward. So the way I was raised, the way I learned to use the bathroom, turns out it was completely wrong. At least for the way I live. And you see, I finally after probably about a 5-minute fight, pretty long, I would say, for the first boss. Got some decent items, new helmet, which I'm finally gonna have to re-equip a gem for. It took me pretty much an entire hour to realize I had to equip a gem on my helmet to begin with. And once I finally did that, got a new item. I went to go equip that axe, but I realized it was two-handed. So I'll just save you guys the extra effort. Got some stuff that was kind of useful. Got a lot of stuff that wasn't useful. Other than that, I think we'll call it quits here. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, where hopefully everything will work properly. You'll be back to hearing me kind of just weekly commentate over gameplay like always, because that's what I'm best at. Indifference and weak commentary. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.